So how do we end up in the lost business call business? It's a great question. Finding Winners as a company was really born during a period of time when I was doing a lot of assisting and investing in early stage B2B companies. I typically would look for companies that were post-solution innovation because those were the situations where my marketing, messaging makeover, and role-play based sales training could have a dramatic impact on results. And ultimately, as we executed those programs, CEOs would hear about what we were doing and would ask us to do those same programs for them. And that's when Finding Winners as a company was born. Now, during that same period of time, I was doing lost business calls, but it was really a scrub process that I was using relative to my investment decision. Now, I had done hundreds of lost business calls over the years, really to help my teams get better in the various situations that I was in. But in this case, I just really wanted to know why they lose. To me, that was critical information for the decision that I needed to make. And of course, CEOs were amazed at the information that they got back from a feedback perspective. And I would actually use that feedback process to give me a sense on their willingness to take feedback and contemplate change directions. Now, in situations that I followed through on, those lost business call scenarios became scenarios in the role-play based sales training. There really was no more efficient way for me to learn the sales methodology and the messaging and the market and the industry situation than to go through one of those assessments. And ultimately, as I started getting calls from other CEOs to execute the team development program, we built the lost business call assessment in as the first step in all of those situations because of the same objectives. Then we started getting calls from CEOs who wanted us just to do the lost business call assessments. Again, having heard about what we were doing from some of their peers. Maybe the team development program was too big of a bite for them, or they were heavily invested in the current sales training program. But the CEOs wanted to know what really happened in a particular situation. Maybe they lost to a competitor. Maybe a customer decided not to do anything. And in those situations, obviously, we could engage and deliver that answer in a pretty short period of time. So that process started, and then we started getting calls from private equity firms who heard about what we were doing, because those CEOs would often share that insight up through their boards of directors. And they were looking for us to basically do the same thing that I was using it for, which was to kind of assess situations that they were taking a look at from a risk perspective. So that's how the lost business call business came to exist at Finding Winners.